I promised I would never ever do ayahuasca again. And that's the funny part, right? Because during the ceremony, I was asking myself, what am I doing here? This is hell. This is not heaven. It's funny today, but at the moment, it wasn't funny at all. And I was asking, what am I doing here? Why did I put myself in this situation? I don't deserve this. But after the ceremony, it became so clear to me, so clear. What was that calling all about? Why was ayahuasca calling me at that moment in my life?
Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to the James Xander Trip, your number one podcast for all things shroomy, psychedelic, spiritual, cosmic, soul-expanding, DMT-activating, 5D ascension guaranteed. Tonight, we have the fabulous Natalia Walter joining us to talk about all things ayahuasca. Ayahuasca is a traditional psychoactive brew originating from the Amazon. It's been used for centuries by indigenous tribes for spiritual, medicinal, and religious purposes. Natalia Walter, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much, James. It's such a pleasure to be here.
It's an honor to have you on the pod. Can you introduce yourself and tell the listeners who you are and what your work is all about?
Yes, of course. I'm Natalia. I'm here from Brazil, currently living in São Paulo. And I'm a spiritual leader here in Brazil. So I host ceremonies with ayahuasca and other plant medicines. And besides that, I work with the oracles, tarot, and other kinds of tools that provides us the consciousness expansion. Currently, I'm also doing my own podcast and working on some projects because I really truly believe in the building of the new earth, frequency. So I'm totally focused right now on doing this and providing even more value to people through the ceremonies with plant medicine and this kind of projects that I'm currently working on.
Amazing, amazing. So I would love to know your personal story with ayahuasca, how you discovered it or how it discovered you.
Yeah, it was such an interesting thing because when I first heard about ayahuasca, it was through a friend, and she mentioned it, that she was taking ayahuasca. And the moment that I heard the word ayahuasca, something inside of me lightened up. So I felt that I needed to go, but I didn't know exactly what was all about it. So the feeling that I had, it was that I was diving into something absolutely unknown for me. But I heard this call, this inner call. I need to do this. I don't know exactly why. I just need to do. I just need to go. And then I went to a ceremony. I didn't know anything about it, but it was the most outstanding experience of my life. Outstanding, extraordinary, extremely hard, extremely challenging. But it was exactly what I needed at that moment in my life. So yeah, ayahuasca found me. I can absolutely feel it when she called, when she guided me to this ceremony.
The way you described your first ceremony is exactly how I would describe mine. The first time, extremely challenging, but absolutely extraordinary and life-changing. And this podcast wouldn't exist without that ceremony. Tell me about that first ceremony. What did you experience? What were you challenged by? And what was the ripple effect of that first ceremony for you?
Okay, so I went to a really, really, really dark place inside of me. Really dark. And I didn't know at the time that I was so lost in my life. I really was. So I was living a life without a purpose. The feeling that I was just, moving around. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm just, experiencing things, but without meaning, without purpose. And so ayahuasca took me on this journey to reveal some parts of myself that I had forgotten. And these parts of myself, they were really dark. And at that moment, I wasn't willing to accept that those parts of me. And so I was invited by ayahuasca to see those parts of myself, to really contact them and accept that I'm light, yes, but I'm also shadows. And in that moment of my life, I was really engaging with my shadow side, but I didn't knew I was engaging on it, I was just moving around life without a purpose, without a meaning. So when ayahuasca presented that shadow side of myself, I was terrified. I wasn't willing to accept. I wasn't willing to, see that as a part of me. And it was really challenging to go beyond the shadow to find my light again, to really connect with my light and to see that even in the darkest of times, there is always a light available for us. And it's not an outside light, it's within. So I went through this really challenging experience, a lot of physical symptoms, discomforts, a lot of things to reach out to my inner light again, actually to ascend through that darkness. And after that, I promised I would never ever do ayahuasca again. And that's the funny part, right? Because during the ceremony, I was asking myself, what am I doing here? This is hell. This is not heaven. And it's funny today, but at the moment, it wasn't funny at all. And I was asking, what am I doing here? Why did I put myself in this situation? I don't deserve this. But after the ceremony, it became so clear to me, so clear, what was that calling all about? Why was ayahuasca calling me at that moment in my life? And so after that, like 1 month after this ceremony, I was there again, having another cup of ayahuasca. And I knew that she had some big plans for me. I didn't know exactly what, I just knew she had. And so I started to work currently with ayahuasca. So once per month and then weekly. And then I was working at a spiritual center, providing aid for people. And then I started to walk this path. And ayahuasca was always guiding me, always instructing me until the moment I was ready to open my own spiritual center and host the ceremonies. So yeah, a lot of ripple effects, a lot of things happened since that day.
Wow. And how many ceremonies do you think you have personally done and facilitated so far?
I think by the present moment, it was over 1,000.
Wow. From going from your first ceremony, I'm never doing this again, to facilitating over 1,000 ayahuasca ceremonies.
It's funny, isn't it?
What is it like when you're doing ayahuasca now, having done so many journeys with it? What kind of lessons are you excavating at this point?
James, I think that we are always learning with the plant medicines. There is no such thing as, okay, I know everything and yeah. There is no such thing as that. We are always learning. So I see myself as a learner. And when I have ayahuasca or other plant medicines, I always put myself in this position of the student. I'm here to learn from you. I'm here to receive your messages, your guidance. But what can I say to you about the progress I made since the first time I had ayahuasca? Definitely my relationship to it. So the way I relate to ayahuasca today, it's so much more mature than in the past. Because in the past, I was extremely afraid of ayahuasca. So I was having ayahuasca, but this fear of what's going to happen, because these dark places I mentioned, it wasn't just one time. I had a lot of experience with this dark side of myself. So until I reach a point when I could totally surrender to the medicine, it was a journey of trust, a journey of surrender. And I surrendered to the medicine, but the medicine is just a symbol of life. I'm surrendering myself to life. So she taught me how to surrender, how to trust. So today, it doesn't matter really if I'm going to the darkest place inside of myself or if I'm reaching the heaven on earth. It doesn't matter. I surrender because I trust her. And the way I relate to her in this trusting, it allows me to relax. And I always talk about relaxation and being present to have ayahuasca because this makes all the difference. When you are tense, when you are stressed, or when you feel fear, the medicine will just mirror back this to you. So when you relax, when you are able to just, surrender, then there is no struggle. It's soft, it's easy, it's effortless. And it doesn't matter what the medicine will present to you. You are surrender, you know? You are just allowing the medicine to work on you. And you just receive that. You are in this place of, I receive you, I trust you. I'm not fighting against you because, believe me, I tried to fight ayahuasca. You can't win. You can't win. So when you just surrender, okay, I surrender to you. Take me on this journey. Show me what I need to see. Tell me what I need to know. What do you want to share with me today? And I just receive. So it's a relationship thing, yeah.
I can relate so much to that. I've only done 4 ayahuasca ceremonies so far. And the last one was so smooth. It was quite shocking for me because I came in very prepared to be humbled, very prepared to go on a rough ride if that's what was needed. It had been 2 years since my 3 other ceremonies. So I was like, well, it's 2 years of lessons that I might need to learn. And it was truly shocking to me how smooth it was. And I realized it must be, like you said, that I am able to surrender and that I'm able to hold my center. I call it holding the center on the energetic surfboard. It's like you're surfing the energetic waves. And because of experience, you're able to hold the center. And 2 months before the 4th ayahuasca ceremony, I had done bufo, which of course is very intense, but also clears you up, clears your channel completely. Or very profoundly, very deeply. And I think because of that bufo journey, going into the 4th ceremony, I was so clear and there was no fear. And so it was just the most blissful, extraordinary experience. And what you said about the relationship, I remember the second time that I went back to ayahuasca, I was more scared than the first time because now I knew how freaking intense it could be. And it was also 2 or 3 weeks after my first one. And I was so scared that I was coming back too soon. I checked in with my intuition. I felt, I'm there to learn. I come with respect. But still, 3 weeks is very soon. And within the first 30 minutes of that second ceremony, I felt welcomed back, like welcome back to the classroom. And I was like, oh, excellent. I have a relationship with this medicine now. It's not there to punish me. I come with respect. I'm there to learn, and it greets me with respect, and it greets me as a teacher, as a mentor. And so I so resonate with everything you've said. And I'm curious, at this point, do you find your journeys are mostly smooth, or do you sometimes get surprised, like, wow, actually, this is bringing me back to a very dark place again? How can you typically tell at this moment or at this point in your life how smooth or humbling a journey will be?
Okay, so check this out. I was going through a phase in my life with a lot of stress, with a lot of tension, with a lot of fear. I was really engaging on discovering these other sides of myself and these other parts of my life. And ayahuasca have been helping me a lot with that. And I can absolutely affirm here to you that I've been going through some tough moments, really tough moments. And during this process, a part of me said, what's going to happen if we take ayahuasca under such a pressure, under such tension, with so many fears coming up? And ayahuasca, she really, really embraced me in such a loving way, in such a motherly way, you know? She took care of me. And of course, she was presenting all of those fears, all of those stressful things and the tension. She was showing me. I was very aware of the situation. But she wasn't punishing me, as you said, as you shared. Because I was afraid at the beginning of my journey with ayahuasca, I was afraid of being punished. And this was a belief not just in ayahuasca, but in God or the universe, you know, who punishes people. Today I see that the only person that can truly punishes us is ourselves. There is no such thing as God punishing you, you know? So I was in this very tough moment, and ayahuasca was taking such good care of me, showing me what I needed to see. And this is because I trust her. So I put myself in this humble position. I'm here to learn. I'm here to receive your guidance, your assistance, your help. I really want to hear from you, ayahuasca, because I trust you. And so she take me to this journey through life in such an easy flow, graceful flow. So even in the times when I get to experience the most, you know, intense fear, tension, stress, ayahuasca, it's always there to help me. And that's the most beautiful part of it. She is definitely my best friend, my best therapist, the one who is always there to, you know, inspire me, help me, guide me, heal me, bring me back to my center, to my balance. So yeah, I am absolutely fascinated about it, as you can all see already. Because yeah, she really takes such a good care of us when you allow it. When you give her space to do this, you know? And she does. She delivers to you. But you need to learn how to accept her love. You need to learn how to receive, how to be cared. You cannot be in control. She is the one who is taking care of you right now. You don't have to do absolutely anything. And I can totally relate this to the way that we relate to life or to the universe. We always want to have control over the situation, understand every single step of it. And it's the same thing with ayahuasca. Release the control. Just allow yourself to be guided. Let her take care of you. Let the universe take care of you. Trust. Trust the process, you know?
Absolutely. I've talked about this in my podcast before, but the essential touchstones of a psychedelic trip for me are surrender, trust, curiosity, and I'm forgetting the last one. But the trust piece is so essential. It's how much do you trust life to hold you, to be there for you? And the metaphor I sometimes like to use is, for example, when you see a cat, right? And the cat is super cuddly and affectionate and trusts you implicitly. And all you want to do is just cuddle this cat versus a cat that, like, the moment you try to approach it, it already mistrusts you. You're not going to be able to give it food or help it in any way because it just fundamentally doesn't trust you. And I wonder if life is sometimes similar in that way, that when we have this hostile relationship to our hologram, our world, to other people, we are denying the universe an opportunity to bless us, an opportunity to receive the blessings, an opportunity to be taken care of. And sometimes you see like these happy-go-lucky people that are always being taken care of and provided. And the reason is that they are happy-go-lucky. It's not that they're happy-go-lucky because they're being provided. It's their attitude towards life, this trust, this absolute trust that I am being taken care of. And it's one of the biggest lessons that I've learned from ayahuasca and also mushrooms. It comes up so often. And I love how we get a chance to really play out that dynamic, play out the dynamic inside a psychedelic trip, and then take that trust dynamic and hopefully apply it to life.
Exactly, James. Exactly.
Tell me about the spirit of ayahuasca, having worked with her for so many years. What did you discover about her personality, how she operates, how the spirit and the energy of ayahuasca flows through you and through the people that you facilitate for?
I love to see ayahuasca as the teacher. This archetype of the teacher is the way I most relate to it. But she's also a mother. She is also a grandmother. She is also a therapist when I need her to be. And she is such a good friend. I would say she is my best friend, definitely. Because you can share such an intimacy with ayahuasca. And she knows you in such a deep level. The way she can really scan you and see beyond your masks, beyond your ego, and touch those parts of you that you didn't even know that existed. So she is this amazing friend that is always willing to listen to you, that is always willing to give you the best advices because she only works with the truth. She doesn't work with lies, but she also can expand what you are feeling inside yourself, especially if you are coming of a place of arrogance or ego. She can sometimes play with you, you know? So you can see your own ego, so you can see your own arrogance. Yeah, this is so true. I've seen it with myself. I've seen this with people. Sometimes you try to challenge ayahuasca and she say, okay, let's see how far you can go. I've been there, trust me. I after some experiences, I just gave this up, you know. I'm not fighting you, ayahuasca. I know that you are so much stronger than me. So yeah, I'm here so you can take care of me. But yeah, I see her as this loving mother, this loving teacher, this loving friend. And she's so honest, you know. Let's see this about yourself. Let's talk about this. Why do you reject this about yourself, you know? Why can't you look at this? Why can't you touch this? Let's bring it to the surface. And so sometimes she will challenge you to go beyond your fears, to go beyond guilt, shame, or I don't know, any stories that you heard about yourself or about life. She will take you to another level, but you must be ready and prepared because once you see the other side, there is no such thing as, okay, I will pretend that I haven't seen this about myself or about life and just, keep doing the same old things, the same old habits that I used to engage with. No, this is not possible. Once you expand your consciousness, there is no returning. There is no coming back. It's moving forward. So one thing that I always share with people about ayahuasca is if you are feeling really this call, this inner strength pulling you, your spirit is pulling you to do ayahuasca, then really, really open up and be prepared because that's the thing. You are expanding beyond what you have seen to this moment. You are going beyond. And it's sometimes a very, very intense ride. It's deep, it's profound. Ayahuasca will take you to some parts of yourself that have been forgotten, that have been sleepy for too long, and you need those parts. But we must be brave. We must have courage to look at those parts of ourselves and don't judge it. Don't criticize it. Learn to accept ourselves unconditionally. And then you accept the medicine as well. And then you relate to it with in this loving way, with the teacher, with the mother, the grandmother. It doesn't matter. She will show her to you the way she needs to show her, the way you are going to see ayahuasca. In some ways, it's a reflection of the way you see yourself because she is this mirror. So sometimes you will see yourself as the teacher or as the mother, the father. It doesn't matter. You are seeing a part of you there. And she's showing you, giving you access to your consciousness, to your wisdom. And you have the privilege to understand that you are so much more than the ego, than the appearances. You are the spirit, you are the soul. So yeah, I think you got it, right, James?
Absolutely. I love how you said the challenging parts, like how it challenges you. That I think is so true. Mushrooms challenge me too, but ayahuasca is a whole nother level. And I invite the challenge, and this is, I think, what makes the first experience sometimes so challenging is you don't expect to be challenged that much. But when you go back and you're going to be tested, you're going to be challenged, you invite it in and you say, yes, I want to see the truth. I want to see where I'm being blocked. I want to see my shadows. Let's go in. And then it becomes exciting. And also, like, regarding ego, there is nothing like having a little bit of ego and then purging in the bucket in the middle of the ceremony.
Yes.
And truly
Absolutely.
realizing, like, truly being humbled and looking at your own not vomit, I don't know, the medicine in the bucket and being like, so there it is. There is my ego.
Exactly. And some people are so afraid of this purification process, like, oh my gosh, will I die? I will go through this vomiting thing. And people get so afraid, so scared. And I always say, hey, this is one of the best parts of the trip. When you get to release these old parts of you, this old, stuff that you've been carrying in your body, in your psyche, in your emotions. I mean, it's purification, deep purification. It's not something random. It's something profound. Sometimes ayahuasca cleanses from past lives karma and things that we've been carrying for so long. And sometimes people ask themselves, why my life is not moving forward, or why am I always stuck in cycles of repetition. And one purification process with ayahuasca can release so much garbage, and then suddenly you have this feeling of flow, of everything is open for you, and you have your vital energy flowing again. So the purification is amazing. I love it.
Absolutely. And sometimes you're not even purging physically, you're purging metaphysically. How do you see the purging? Is it a combination of physical purging and energy purging? Do you see it more as a physical side effect of the medicine or more of an energy component?
I like to see the work that ayahuasca does with us as a scan. So she starts scanning your body, your emotions, your psyche, your field of energy. And through this scanning, she will identify exactly where the blockages are. So if you have blockages on your physical body, of course, they relate to blockages on your emotional body or in your psyche or in your energy, because everything is related. There is no separation from the physical body to the energetic body. So when she starts this scanning process and identify the blockage, she will give you clarity on it. It's not only the purging thing, but she will give you clarity. What is this blockage all about? And you have the opportunity to purge, but purge with consciousness of what you are purging of, So I see this purging process as an holistic thing, not just about the physical body. Of course, sometimes we have to cleanse our body from the way we feed ourselves, the way, our habits. Sometimes people are addicted to drugs, to substances, or other things. So ayahuasca comes and clear. But it's so much more profound. So when I look at the purging, I understand that we have to take to be aware of what we are cleansing, so then we can put it out, And there are so many ways to do this purging thing. So perhaps in your first experience with ayahuasca, you feel a lot of symptoms, a lot of discomfort. It's natural. It's part of the process. Sometimes you feel it, sometimes you don't. But when you start engaging more with ayahuasca and through your journey with her, you will start noticing that this purging process becomes softer, 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 because you are raising your vibration. You are literally elevating your frequency. So, sometimes I take ayahuasca, I don't go to the bathroom, I don't vomit, because I'm already very much related to her. And I take care of myself in my day-to-day life. So another interesting effect of the purging process with ayahuasca, it's the result on our day-to-day life. So let's say that you have this, feeding habits, not healthy at all, and then you pass through this purging process with ayahuasca, and then after that, you cannot tolerate certain foods anymore. You create like a resistance. This is not good for my body. Your body automatically rejects that food, that substance. That's why so many people seek ayahuasca to release themselves from the drug addiction or things like that, because you create another kind of relationship to your body. You do not tolerate some things anymore. It doesn't matter if it's food, if it's a drug, if it's a person, a place. Ayahuasca will give you clarity on how you are intoxifying yourself, how you are poisoning yourself, your body, your energy. So it's not just about put it out. Yeah, you put it out, but you also gain so much clarity, so much consciousness, awareness of what is really good for you, you know?
Yeah, I've noticed it in myself. I can't eat junk food anymore. And, even things like, I don't know, chips, like I used to love chips. I can't pick it up anymore. It's just, like you said, the body rejects it or the mind rejects it. The mind says, no, we don't do this anymore. Talk to me a little bit about facilitation. You've facilitated over 1,000 ceremonies for people. What are some of the most common challenges that you see in the people that come to you with in their ceremonies, and how do you help prepare them? How do you guide them? How do you help them in challenging moments? And I'd love to hear what has been your experience with facilitation.
Okay, so it's a funny thing because I never asked to be a facilitator of ayahuasca. I never asked to have a spiritual center. I was guided to it. It was my soul pulling me to answer my inner call because, as I told you already, at my first ayahuasca experience, I was like, no way, I'm never doing this again. Never, ever. And 1 month later, I was there so scared, so afraid, but something inside of me was pulling me, was guiding me. It was so much stronger than my fear, than my ego. And so I was there again. And after I've been through a lot of personal experiences with the medicine, then I received this call to start providing ceremonies for people, me and my husband. And so at that moment, we said, we are not doing this because, no, it's not our thing. We had this experience in another spiritual center. We helped there. So we were like the guardians, the assistants, but we didn't have the the desire to have our own spiritual center. But okay, the calling came for us. And after some while, we decided to accept it. And so the journey of taking care of yourself with ayahuasca, it's one. And the journey of facilitating ceremonies is another, totally different, because you are not just taking care of yourself. You are taking care of dozens, thousands of people. And you don't know where people are in life, what's going on with each one of them. Sometimes people just get to your place and they are going through these crazy moments, and you serve ayahuasca to them. You don't know anything about that person. But at the moment when we connect with the power of the medicine, then we can relate to people in such a deep level, such a deep energetic level. And then suddenly it looks like you know the person for years because it's another language. It's beyond words. And we had so many experiences, so many people attending our ceremonies. We started with private ceremonies, so one person at a time. Then we started to receive small groups like, 5, 10 people at most. And then we started to amplify these groups, 20, 40, 50, then 100, a lot of people in one ceremony. So what can I say to you, James, is that you can never predict. Sometimes you have a small group of 5 people and it's so intense. The way things go during the ceremony, you go to some really intense places And sometimes you have a major group of 100 people and the ceremony is so smooth, it's so, soft, it's so easy. And I've been in this place of softness, and I've been in this place of struggle, lot of struggle, because when you are facilitating, hosting a ceremony, you are responsible for the ceremony. It means you are responsible for all the people that are there. You answer for the ceremony, and you are giving ayahuasca. It's not, it's ayahuasca. People are expanding their consciousness. So during this journey of learning how to host a ceremony and be in this place, I can say to you that I've been to hell, to heaven, and sometimes really tough, really difficult, because you are dealing with struggles of people. You are dealing with density. People are purging. People are putting out their, their things, and you have to deal energetically. Of course, we have the preparation for this, not just ourselves, but the temple, the space, and everything that we use to provide a safe trip for everyone. The spiritual help, the spiritual guidance of the ceremony. We don't do this work alone, of course not. And we also have a team of people prepared to help. So, yeah, this preparation makes all the difference. But when the person arrives at your place to have ayahuasca with you, you can never predict. Sometimes you look at the person and you already have this feeling, oh, this is going to be deep. This is going to be profound. But until you take the medicine and you go through this journey, you can't predict. You can just feel and trust that you are taken care of. So you are in this position of facilitating, of taking care of people. And I've seen a lot of things during ceremonies, a lot of things, really. But you cannot judge, people healing themselves, human beings. You cannot judge. Sometimes people need to scream. Sometimes people need to crawl. Sometimes people need to be, in child's position. Sometimes people have to cry on your shoulder. And you are there because you love what you do. You trust the medicine. And you know that after the ceremony, the person will be so much more, aligned, so much more in tune with herself. It's worth it. It's worth it. So, yeah, I'm really proud of everything I've been going through until this present moment, because we've helped, I don't know, thousands of people. During all of these years, so many people have been through our ceremonies and had so many amazing experiences. And I'm really proud of myself, for allowing me to be there and to show up even when I was scared, even when I was afraid, even when I was overwhelmed. I was there. I showed up because I have a purpose,
Yes, yes. With the clients that you've kept in touch with, what has been the most profound transformation you've seen in someone who has taken ayahuasca?
I've seen so many beautiful things, James, from releasing drug addiction to transforming, shifting the whole life, shifting the way the person was to another different version of self, really tuning into this highest timeline, releasing the potential, releasing the blockages, stepping into their greatness, stepping into their purpose. I've seen people arrive at my place in desperation. And after, I don't know, a few ceremonies, the person is already, shining bright. You can see the life in the person. And it's really moving because sometimes you receive someone and you expect, you expect that the medicine will do everything for the person, but it's not like that. So the person arrives, you provide the ceremony, you provide the aid, the assistance, the guidance, everything. But there is a part where is the person who will do the work. The medicine will present everything, but the person will do the work. So I love to see how people, connect with this inner strength and go beyond the limitations, go beyond the old beliefs, and really reinvent themselves. It's really beautiful to see the transformations. So, yeah, I've seen so many, so many. And that's why I get so proud, not just of myself, of being there, but people. I'm proud of each and every one of them who came, who allowed themselves to change and really did the work, the inner work to reach this big major transformations.
Can you talk to me about integration and what do you recommend for people after their ayahuasca journey? What are the best things they can do to integrate the experience? Because, and I'm sure you've experienced this, sometimes you have such a profound high in the journey, a feeling of unconditional love, a feeling of solutions, abundance, love. And there does come a point when you come back to your day-to-day life and you have to integrate what you saw in the ceremony in a practical 3D way. And I'm curious what thoughts and what advice you can offer to the listener.
Yeah, that's a very interesting question, James, because the integration is actually where the work happens. Sometimes we think, okay, I'm attending the ceremony and I'm doing all the work there, but actually, the ceremony, it's like the gift, the moment when you have the privilege to be in connection with the medicine, when you are totally, fully supported by the medicine, you have your consciousness expansion, so you are much more aware, much more intuitive. Okay, so it's the gift. After that, you need to understand what tools can you use to sustain your frequency, because ayahuasca will raise your vibration, will put you on a different frequency, but the work is to sustain this and perhaps even transcend the frequency. So each and every one of us will identify the certain tools that we can use on our day-to-day lives to do this. I love to meditate. Every single day I meditate because I get out of this ego place to connect with the spiritual realms. So to me, it's such a beautiful practice. I love it. Every time I wake up, go to meditation. Before I go to sleep, meditation, practicing awareness throughout the day. But sometimes you need something more specific. Sometimes you need to journal about your experiences. Sometimes you need to talk about it. So that's the importance to have someone to listen to you, to guide you, assist you, especially the one who is facilitating the ceremony for you, because this person can answer you questions. This person is in the same frequency as you. So it's important to have this relationship, this openness. And practices that really helps us to sustain the frequency is to look after our habits, the places that we are visiting, the people we are interacting with, the foods we are putting into our body, the movies that we are watching, the podcasts that we are listening, so you really need to be aware of what lowers your frequency, the energy vampires of life, and what raises your frequency. And this is so much personal, every single one of us will have this call, this pull to do some practices, and that will help them sustain their frequency. Some people go to nature, some people go to, I don't know, do some trips, visit other places. It doesn't matter what tool you will use it. The most important thing is to really be aware of what not to do, what really lowers your frequency. And this becomes so clear after you take ayahuasca, that thing that we were talking about,
Wow, yes. The most important thing is what not to do. So true. So true. It's so much, it's not about adding more. It's about removing. It's about removing the blocks, the toxicity, the negative people and places, the bad habits. And once you clean the windows of the soul, the light pours in naturally. You don't have to do anything. Yeah. The most important thing is what not to do. I love it. So, Natalia, tell me, what are some of the biggest lessons that ayahuasca has taught you this year or just in general, if you'd like to share any lessons?
There are so many lessons, but I will share one of them that has been going through my mind these days. And it's about letting go, releasing control, really tuning into this flow state. Because, when we are in the power of the medicine, when we are under effect of the medicine, you get this flow state. It's so delicious. It's so amazing. When you are absolutely connected, when you have this certainty, when you have this clarity, and you just get to flow. No resistance, no attachment. You are just flowing through life. And this is one of my favorite teachings of ayahuasca. And it's a major one for us in the day-to-day lives because we are always trying to control everything, And when you learn to release this control, this needing of being always, holding tight to the steering wheel, and when you learn to release this control, this neediness, you enter this flow state and you get to be inspired. You are not forcing things. You are just really being inspired by yourself. And during this flow state, I've been noticing how ayahuasca, she really brings to the surface my gifts, my abilities. And she helps me see my beautiness. She helps me see clearly my purpose. She helps me to really connect with my medicine. And one of the most interesting questions that you can ask ayahuasca, it's, show me my gifts, show me my medicine. How can I be more in tune with myself? Yeah, it's a big one. It's a big one. Ask her to show you. And when you get in this flow state, this pleasurable, pleasure state, you are just flowing, you are just allowing. And then suddenly you discover things about yourself that you wouldn't be able to see or to discover if you were in this control mode. And this leaves us to the question, when we are always comparing ourselves to other people, ayahuasca will teach you how to see yourself, And other people is just a mirror of yourself. So what you see in other people that you enjoy in yourself. What you see that you reject in yourself. And ayahuasca has been helping me a lot to see myself with integrity. It's not rejecting the parts of me that I dislike. It's embracing it all. And this allows you to tap into this flow state when you don't resist yourself. You just surrender to you, and you can discover things about yourself that were dormant, that were hidden in some pretty hidden places, yeah. So really looking at yourself, accepting yourself, learning to love yourself exactly the way you are. So, yeah, this is a beautiful one. She left me.
That's beautiful. What are some other intentions that you recommend for someone going into a ceremony? I love the intention of show me my gifts. That's so beautiful. I've never tried that with any psychedelic. What are some other beautiful intentions that you can leave with the listener?
I like to use the ayahuasca. I'm here to learn what I need to learn today.
Yes.
So always put yourself in the student's position. Don't try to be the teacher with ayahuasca because it doesn't work. You are there to listen to her and
Absolutely.
not to tell her what to do. So I love to just open up myself and let her guide me. So show me my gifts. It's a great one. You can use what do I need to know right now? What do I need to see right now that is preventing me to reaching my full potential? Or what is blocking my experience of miracles, of pleasure, of ease? Show me the blockages. Show me what to do with the blockages. Teach me how to go beyond the darkness, how to go beyond the ego, you know? So you can really tune into your heart and feel what is the need of your heart in this moment. And then you can set this intention with ayahuasca through a question. I love the questions. Ayahuasca, what is my greatest gift? What can you show me about my gifts? You know? And really tuning into your intuition. Sometimes you need just to clean, to purge. Sometimes you feel like you are out of alignment with your own energy, with your own field. So realigning yourself, coming back to your center, reclaiming your power, reclaiming your ability, your potential that you left out in some place in the world, you know, reaching out, reclaiming, bringing back your energy, your power. So yeah, just tuning in, checking with your intuition, what is important for you right now. And then you set the intention with ayahuasca and release. Let her guide you. Don't step in the way, you know? Just let her guide you.
I was so shocked in my first ceremony. I went in with a lot of questions, burning questions about my life, but also no expectations, because I knew from mushrooms, sometimes the intention is answered and sometimes you're taken in another direction that's even more important. So I went in with the intention to learn whatever I most needed to learn. And then also, here's my questions. And ayahuasca did both. It was so incredible for me to see. It answered all of my questions and then some, and then gave me like its own gifts. And I was just so flabbergasted by how it patiently answered everything. For people that go into ayahuasca, and I've heard of it, maybe one or two people like this, they don't have an experience or they don't feel the power of ayahuasca. They take it and nothing happens, or they take it and they don't receive what they were hoping to receive. Have you seen this in your ceremonies, and how do you explain that? And what do you recommend for someone who has maybe gone to a ceremony before and not had the experience they were seeking?
This is absolutely normal. This happens a lot, actually. So there are a few things that we must understand about this process of being ignored by ayahuasca. It's not that you are being ignored. Ayahuasca always knows exactly what she's doing. So if you took the medicine and you didn't have access to this major power, this effect of ayahuasca, it doesn't matter actually because she is working with you. Perhaps in your subconscious. Perhaps you are not ready yet to access some things in your conscious mind. So ayahuasca need to do a little work before that in your subconscious. I've seen that a lot. So people get angry, they get frustrated, they get, why is this not working for me? I want to feel, I want to see. And I go to the person and I said, hey, perhaps you are already feeling the effects. You're just not aware of it. Because ayahuasca is putting out all of the frustration, the anger, why is this ignoring me? I mean, you are actually seeing what you are putting out.
Wow, yes. So the frustration is the experience that that person needs to have because it's blocking the other layers, perhaps, that are later going to come through on subsequent journeys.
Exactly. So the person is under effect, but she's not aware. She's hoping to see things, people talk a lot about the mirages, the visions with ayahuasca, but actually what you need right now is to release this tension, is to put this anger out, this frustration, Sometimes people go to this how can I say, they get really in touch with their inner child, and they get so angry. And I'm seeing the child there. So ayahuasca took you to the connection with the child or with the wounded parent, and you are releasing that. You are so angry. Why isn't it working? So it's actually working, but you're not really aware of it. But sometimes what can happen as well is that you have a lot of blockages, subconscious blockages that need to be cleansed, purged before you get access to higher states of consciousness with ayahuasca. So I've seen this as well. People need to purge before the ceremony, do this preparation thing properly. Sometimes they are under effect of other substances that enable the effect of ayahuasca. And then you have to, drop the substances and then have ayahuasca in a clean state because she doesn't like to be interacting with some kinds of substances, And yeah, it's important to prepare yourself, prepare your body, your mind, your spirit. And sometimes also people get so anxious about what's going to happen and they are so tense, like they are preparing to a fight against ayahuasca. Hey, relax. You're not fighting against ayahuasca. Drop the shields, open up. Because if you are, too tense, like ready for a fight, ayahuasca will just look at you and say, okay, I'm not doing this. You are so rigid, so tense. I'll just wait for you to, release your shields and then perhaps I come in. Does that make sense?
Totally makes sense. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's going to help a lot of people who have had that experience and maybe who even haven't, but they will drop the shields now because they heard that.
And there is another thing, very important, an easy one. Sometimes you are with ayahuasca in your body already, not feeling anything. Just ask her, ayahuasca, I want to feel you. I really want to connect with you. Ask her. It's alive inside of you. It's a spirit, You can talk to her. You can ask her. So, yeah, go there and ask. Ayahuasca, I want to feel you. But you cannot ask from a place of ego or mind. It has to come from a place of heart, of truth, you know? So, tune into your heart, tune into your being beyond the ego. Go beyond the ego and ask, Ayahuasca, I want to feel you. And it happens. I've seen that.
I can attest to that because every time I've asked ayahuasca for something specific, I got it. And I got it in spades. So the first ceremony, I asked, the list of burning questions. I said, I need to know this. And also one should not do this perhaps on the first one, but I did say, I want a powerful experience.
Wow.
And I got a powerful experience.
Oh my gosh. I don't have the courage to ask that, James.
I wanted a change. I was going there for a powerful experience. I asked for it. I got it. And it was a very emotional journey, that first one. Not so much visual, not even as visual as some of my mushroom journeys. So the second time I said, I want visuals. Make it visual. Not from a place of ego, but just as an intention. Like, I'd love to, like, show me what you got. I'd love to see some visuals. It was the most visual trip I could have ever asked for. So many visuals, the most crazy visuals, the most 3D, 5D, kaleidoscopic, holographic. I was mind blown. And I think the third one, I didn't put any parameters. I just said, give me what you think is the best.
Just give me what I need right now.
Exactly. So it's amazing. And with mushrooms, I feel that too. What you ask for, you receive. And that's why intention is so important. Even before you take the medicine, really sitting with yourself and saying, this is what I'd love to experience. Of course, I'm open to everything else that's important for my highest good, but here's what I'd love. And very often it'll meet you where you're at. It'll meet you where you want it to go, with its own twist and unique way.
Exactly. Not always the way we want, but always the way we need. Ayahuasca listens and talks to our spirit, not our ego. So sometimes your ego wants something and you set an intention from the ego, and ayahuasca take you to a whole different journey because she's not talking to your ego, not to your mind. She's talking to your spirit. So your spirit will communicate what you need right now. That's why some people take ayahuasca and they are like, whoa, I got this amazing, extraordinary journey I didn't even ask for. Yeah, because your mind wouldn't be able to imagine that. But your spirit knew that you could have access to this experience right now. You were ready. So just receive it, It's not about questioning ayahuasca. You just receive. Once the medicine is, making effect on you and you are connected with it, we don't question. Why are you showing me this? Why am I feeling like this? No, you just allow. You just receive. And you will gain clarity. She will explain to you why you are seeing or feeling this, but perhaps not in the way that your mind expected. That's why it's so important for us when you have ayahuasca, really connect with your intuition, because the messages, they don't always come in a logical way. Sometimes, for example, you have the visuals. The visuals is the way that ayahuasca is communicating with you. And this is an ancient wisdom to understand the patterns, especially when you have access to the geometry of ayahuasca. She's talking to you through that visuals, okay? So you are seeing a lot of things because the visuals, they cause an effect on your being. You start to feel things. And so we cannot try to understand this with our logical mind. It doesn't make sense. But when you tune into your heart and when you are in tune with your intuition, then you see the visuals and you understand everything. Perhaps you cannot explain it through words, but your spirit gets it, you know?
Yes. Has there ever been a time, either in your journeys or in your clients' journeys, where you couldn't figure out the meaning of a visual or a message? And after the ceremony was done, you're like, I don't know why I was shown that, or I don't know why that thing came up. Has that ever happened? And how do you resolve that open loop?
There is the divine timing for things, right? So sometimes you get access to something during a ceremony, but the understanding of that experience, it's not for that moment. You need it to pass through the experience, but the way you will understand, it requires time. It requires to you go deep into your meditations, into your, you know, self-awareness. So sometimes, yeah, it takes time, sometimes years. I've seen a person, a woman, she came to me like 6 years ago, and she had this major experience with ayahuasca. It was really shocking for her, really shocking. She was perhaps even traumatized. She didn't ever wanted to come back. And so last year she appeared and she said, I'm hearing the call. I'm ready for it. And when she came to the ceremony 6 years later, she understood everything that happened the first time.
Wow.
But she needed 6 years to understand, to digest the experience, to mature, to get mature enough to understand what ayahuasca was showing her that first time. So it's not a linear process. Sometimes you just get it, everything from that ceremony, and sometimes you will need time. Your ego will need time to process, to digest, because not always it will be pleasant for your mind or ego. And that's why it's so important to have this guidance, to have this assistance. But mostly, give it time, relax, don't force it, because when it needs to get to you, it will. When the understanding needs to get to you, it will. Just relax. Allow the process to be how it needs to be. And when you don't force it, when you just allow it, then it becomes so much more easy, to understand, because you are not in this place of ego. You are in this place of spirit. And then you have clarity, you have wisdom. So yeah, I've seen that.
Wow, beautiful answer. And would you say that...
Sometimes you just have to be patient,
Yes, exactly. And would you say it's accurate to say that if one wanted to accelerate that process, that if they intended to see more truth about that situation and they asked the universe, I'm ready to see more truth, I'm ready to put my ego down, I want to process that, they will invite the right experience, the right people, mentors, guardians, and other psychedelic experience perhaps that will continue to show them layers because their intention is, yes, I want to see the truth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What can I say to you about this is there is a difference between what you intend through your mind and what you actually feel. So perhaps you are saying, okay, ayahuasca, I want to release, detach from my ego, from my logical mind, but you are not actually feeling this. You're not actually prepared for this. So, of course, you can intend, but you must assure that this intention is connected to the feeling that you're putting into. It's not just words, empty words. No, it's words with meaning. You are ready. You feel it. I am ready. I am, certain about this. And you can feel in your body. So, yeah, of course, when you are in this place of intention with integrity, with truth, with feeling, of course, the teacher will appear. Of course, the door will open. Of course, the answer will arrive. But yeah, we just need to have this patience to set an intention and wait. You did it, okay? So just wait. Let it come to you. Don't force it. Just let it come. Release the anxiety to know everything. Perhaps what you need to know right now is just this tiny piece of the major puzzle of your life. So have this patience and know how to wait for the timing is perfect. But really assuring yourself that you are not setting intentions from this place of, oh, I want to know, but I'm not actually feeling, that I want to know, that I'm ready to know.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's got to be a true desire. I know you're fascinated by the mysteries of the universe and the mysteries of existence. And I'm curious, what has your experience with ayahuasca or other plant medicines shown you about the true nature of reality?
That's a good one, James. I love your questions. Okay, so what can I share about this? It's very interesting because I sense it's like a journey, okay? So you are unblocking different levels of existence, of awareness, and this is not something that happens overnight. Of course, the first experience with ayahuasca will unblock a lot of things for you, but until you reach certain points in your life, you won't be able to unblock other levels because it's a journey. You are walking, you are progressing, you are advancing, you are really evolving. So the things that I accessed in my first experience or when I was beginning my trail with ayahuasca, it was totally different from the connections that I have today. And this is because over the time I was releasing a lot of old beliefs, of old parts of myself that weren't aligned anymore, and really releasing the stories, I heard about existence, about life. And this is an active process as well because you are constantly questioning, why do I accept this as truth? Why do I carry this story with me? Why can't I just release it? And so it's a journey. It has been for me for over these last years, and it continues. So what I access today with ayahuasca, it's because I've done enough inner work to reach higher frequencies, higher levels of awareness. And this is daily. It's not like, okay, ayahuasca, take me to the next level. And, you have to be prepared because after you see some things, you can't unsee them. And sometimes we need this ego structure and we need this logical mind to keep us here, in the 3D reality. But when you're ready to go beyond that, of course, ayahuasca will show you what is possible. And so it has been very interesting, especially after I met you, James, after Unlock God Mode, and after a lot of things that have been happening in my life. I've reached another level of connection, of awareness with ayahuasca. And it's really, really interesting to dive deep into the mysteries of existence with ayahuasca because she is not like telling you things. She is making you feel them. So she's presenting you these mysteries and you are able to feel them in another level. This is not something that we can share through words. It's not possible. It's something so much profound. When you really get it, when you get what you are doing here, what is this all about, and things start to get much more clear to you, and you see the perfect plan, you can sense this. And ayahuasca helps us to zoom out from our day-to-day routine, from this engaging with life, stressing about life, the 3D reality. Zoom out, and then you can see things from a totally different perspective. And I love the way she provides this to us, because you have this, motivation and this inspiration. Okay, everything is perfect, so let me just trust the process, and allowing yourself to go even higher and to raise even more your frequency. So my latest intention for ayahuasca, it's always transcend the frequency, always go beyond. And it has been really, really interesting for me.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. You mentioned unlock God mode, and I think it would be fun to ask you, how did we first meet? How did you find my work? And what did you think of unlock God mode?
So that's a very interesting thing as well, because just like ayahuasca, I was founded, unlock God mode found me. And it was amazing how this happened, because I was intending some things in my life. I was really searching for answers, and I was really into this, let's go deeper. How can I go deeper in my connections? How can I go deeper into this, I don't know, this experience of life, right? And then Unlock God Mode found me on Spotify. I wasn't even searching for it. I just intended. And it was funny, because I remember the day I was at the gym, and suddenly I felt this urge to go to Spotify, because I needed to go to Spotify. And I went to the part of, podcasts. And the first was Unlock God Mode. I said, okay, let me check this out, because it sounds interesting. And when I heard your voice, James, for the first time, I said, I know this guy. He's talking to me. It's not possible. I know him. And I had this feeling that we were friends for like years. And I was reconnecting to a dear friend. And the message, it was for me. It was exactly about what I was living. And after Unlock God Mode, after I finished the course, and after I attended to the community, it's amazing actually. After that, a lot of things started to happen, because I received some tools that I'm using like daily. And I needed that external voice to guide some of the experiences that I've been going through. And that was your voice, James. So I had the feeling that all of those lessons, they were just preparing me to actually put them in practice, to actually use them, because I was going to need them. And that's exactly what happened. So last year, I did the course, the 30 days, attended to the workshops, to the community. And today I can see clearly, vividly, every single lesson from Unlock God Mode. And I get the opportunity to use them, because it's not something that you just reflect on. Life will present you the opportunities for you to really test the lesson, test it, experiment with it. So lessons like the courage, surrender, the misaligned matches, they are amazing lessons, because I use them daily, and they really transformed my life. So I can say to you that I was in a certain level before I met you, and before I met Unlock God Mode. And today oh my gosh, I really went a lot of levels up, because I surrender to the process because I really use those tools daily, practicing, experimenting with it. And I take it seriously. I really trust what you're saying. And I really trust your inner guidance to provide us with such a beautiful content. Because I can feel also it's not coming from a place of ego. It's coming from a place of soul. So yeah, it changed my life. I love Unlock God Mode. It was absolutely necessary for me.
I'm so honored by everything you said, and just, yeah, very kind words. Thank you so much. And I love how you said that it's coming not from ego but from soul. That was my intention, to infuse the course with a soul level of insights, and insights that I have personally lived through. I couldn't bear the thought of teaching something that I hadn't lived through. So I made sure that every lesson came from the heart, came from experience, came from the painful lessons and the successful lessons and everything in between. So I'm very, very glad to hear that it touched you in that way, because that was truly my deepest intention for everyone going through it.
Absolutely, James. Absolutely. And something really interesting that I would like to share about Unlock God Mode is the following. So you have these lessons, and perhaps you can find them in another place with another teacher. But it's you. It's your frequency. It's your energy. And this is something that I've learned with ayahuasca as well. The beauty of our energy and the love that we put out into the world. So it's the same thing here for me. There are a lot of spiritual centers here in Brazil, but why people choose me? Why people choose to come to my place and have ayahuasca with me? Because it's my frequency, because it's my energy, because it's my medicine, it's my magic. There is no such thing as another Natalia like me in the world. I'm unique, and you are unique. Your course is unique. And this is what makes it so special, because you get to put your frequency there, and people are connecting with you in a soul level, not an ego level. And that's why I told you, I didn't engage a lot in podcasts because I didn't resonate with people, people talking. I didn't match the energy, the frequency. But the first time I listened to one of your pods, I was like, hey, he's talking to me in a soul level. I can sense his energy. And this is so special. This is something I really encourage people doing. Don't try to copy me. Don't try to be me, because you are so beautiful in the way that you are. I have my medicine, but you have yours. I have my beauty, you have yours. We don't have to compete. We can really, really see each other in our beauty, in our medicines, and respect each other like, brothers, sisters. We are all working together. And one of my major projects for this years ahead, it's really tuning into the new earth frequency. It's really providing a safe place for people to connect, to access this new earth frequency and operate from it. Not living life in the limitations of the 3D, but really, really engaging in something bigger, connecting with this. And I think this process starts with at the moment when we accept that we are unique and that we have unique gifts to share with the world. So absolutely, James, you are sharing your gifts. It's beautiful to see. And I know that this course will reach the right people because the universe has its own algorithm.
I love
I
that.
like to play with that.
The universe has its own algorithm. So true. So true. I find that after a mushroom trip, when I actually go on social media, even the algorithm on the social media is more shroomy than
Yeah,
usual.
exactly.
Yes. And I love what you said about everyone is a unique soul. And I had this download recently where the best thing we can do for each other and for the world and for ourselves is to beam out our frequency in as pure and undistorted way as possible. And sometimes when you've grown up and society or family or your previous friends have sort of distorted your frequency, or you've allowed it to be distorted, not that they've done it, but you took on some of their frequency. But when you start shining your frequency, regardless of anyone else's opinion, that's when the soul truly comes alive. And it's like you're this musical instrument that can be so pure. The notes are so pure, and yet they're also fully in harmony with the universe. And they're creating this amazing symphony. And just the other night, I was listening to a podcast with Bashar, Daryl Enka, and he said something so beautiful that every person is like a piece of a jigsaw puzzle. And when you think of the pieces, the jigsaw pieces, they're each very unique. If it was exactly the same piece, the puzzle would be so boring. You would make it in 2 minutes. But it's because each one is so unique and it takes time to put all of them together, and then the bigger picture comes alive. And he was saying how every person is that unique puzzle piece. And when you start working in service of the greater picture, you get fulfillment because now you're fitting into the greater picture, and you get to also shine your unique light because you are that unique puzzle piece. And yeah, it was just such a beautiful reflection that I got yesterday, and now you're bringing it up here with the unique souls. So truly perfect timing.
It's in the field.
It's in
we
the
are
field.
Connected.
Natalia, tell us where people can find you, and if they want to work with you, if they want to have a ceremony with you, where can they follow you? Where can they join your newsletter, your website, your Instagram? Would love for you to share that.
Okay, so before I share this information with you, I would love to share something that is a huge dream for us. Me and my partner, we reached this point in our journey where we really want to go beyond what we've already achieved. And we are working currently on the manifestation of our temple, a very, very special place. And I hope to see people there because we are taking this to another level. And we are totally focused on doing this right now. So everyone who wants to engage with this project is so welcome. We are so willing to receive support, help, and, we are so open to this. And if you want to work with me, if you want to know me better, you can connect with me in my Instagram. I'm finishing my website right now, so you can reach out to me in my Instagram. My podcast is in Portuguese, but I'm working on a podcast in English as well. And soon enough, I will release it. And just come to Brazil, talk to me, and we will arrange a major master ceremony, extraordinary ceremony for you. I'm really engaging right now on working more on this retreat format because I was doing this, how can I say, just the ceremony, but I want to go beyond. I want to offer retreats. So we are providing these retreats for anyone who wants to come here in Brazil and have this experience in one of the most spiritual places in Brazil. It's amazing. And yeah, you can just reach out to me, talk to me, and then we arrange the details. But yeah, I'm so open and so happy to be here to serve you and eventually to have ayahuasca with you. I'm sure it will be amazing. And thanking you, James, for the opportunity. It was absolutely amazing to be here. Absolutely amazing.
It's my pleasure. Is there any final frequency you'd like to leave the listener with? Any final note that you want to share with everyone?
I want to share the note about trusting yourself. Trusting yourself beyond anything that is currently going on in your life or any appearance, when you really, really tune into your soul, when you tune into your heart, and you realize that your soul and the universe has bigger plans for you. So just trust that you are capable, that you are able to go beyond, because I'm challenging a lot of limiting beliefs. I'm really releasing a lot of old stories that I told myself to make a dream into reality. And I'm trusting 100% that I'm able to do this. So this is my frequency right now, the frequency of trust, the frequency of certainty. And I share this with you because sometimes we are in this place in life when we see everything crumbling around us and you have this feeling like, oh my gosh. But deep down, there is this intuition that is telling you everything is perfect. So just keep going. Keep trusting in yourself. Keep trusting in your dreams. The power, it's not outside, it's in yourself. So reclaim it. Take it. It's yours. And through this power, build what your soul wants you to build. And really engage with your dreams, with your purpose, with what makes you happy, really happy, in a state of joy, of bliss, of gratitude. Engage with that. It doesn't matter what other people say, what other people do. What really matters, it's you're following your dreams, you're following your intuition, you are connected with your heart. So thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. It was a real gift for me, James.
For me as well. Thank you, Natalia. You've been listening to the James Xander Trip with Natalia Walter. If you enjoyed this podcast, send a little message to Natalia and let her know what you thought of the episode, or leave us a comment, leave us a review. And if you want to join our community, go to unlockgodmode.org. That's where you'll find the course in the community. And to stay in touch, go to jamesxandertrip.com. Thank you so much for listening, and we shall see you in the next episode.